Hello, welcome to Metal Vice, a podcast where we talk about all things music.
Well, the things we care about.
That's right, which is mainly metal music and live music. I'm your host, Brian, joined with your other host,
Karen.
And this one's going to be a bit of a longer episode.
Probably longer, yes.
Because we are talking about the Headbangers Boat for 2024.
Yes, number two.
Number two, yes. We did last year's. That was the first one they did. This is the second year they're doing it. They've announced for a third year as well.
Yeah, we'll talk about that at the end.
So super excited for that. But getting into this, just going over some logistics real quick. This is Lamb of God presents the Headbangers Boat. So they're headlining this. They play 2 sets. Everybody else is supposed to play 3 sets.
Yeah.
We'll talk about what happened this year. Not quite what happened. Schedule changes and whatnot, but whatever. But the other bands joining us on the boat, we have. Go ahead. Why don't you tell us who we have?
Sure. So we have Dethklok, Chimaira, Poison the Well. At the Gates was supposed to be there. They were originally announced, which was then replaced by Carcass.
Yes.
Soulfly, Exodus, Napalm Death, Corrosion of Conformity, or COC, After the Burial, Currents, Bleeding Through, Unearth, Eyehategod, Frozen Soul, and UnityTX.
Yeah, and that was supposed to be the schedule. As you said, At the Gates, they dropped out a couple months ago before the ship.
Yeah, before the
sail.
ship. Yeah, so then, we had notice of that one.
Yeah, and we're recording this, just FYI, I guess, the Sunday after we got back from the ship.
Yeah, it's November 3rd, and the the sailing was October 28th to November 1st.
This year was, you're right.
Yeah.
And After the Burial was also not on the boat. They didn't make it, and nothing was really announced about it until like when the boat was setting sail.
Yeah.
People found out about from like a Facebook post. We'll talk a little bit about that experience, but they were also not there, unfortunately.
Yeah.
As always, we talk about prices. This will be a little different because we'll just go over the ranges because the price for this varies. I mean, other shows vary too, depending on where you're sitting.
Yeah, that's
and
true. Yeah.
But this depends on your cabin you get and like the style and all
and like
that.
what deck you're on and everything like that. Because you can be on deck 4 interior room for the cheapest price, or you can be on like the 11th deck with like the. What are those called? Not like a suite.
Oh, like the suite type things?
Yeah, like a suite or something for the highest price. So
if you're like on the back of the boat, there's a bigger balconies and shit like that. But in any case, pricing for this was $995 to $3,300, depending on, like you said, all of those, where you select and whatnot there.
And it's per ticket but if you're like a single in one of the rooms, you have to pay a double price for the room. Yeah, you don't get charged double for like the port fees and like all that stuff. So it's not quite exactly double, but you do have to pay a double price for a room.
So if you go by yourself and do the cheapest room of basically $1,000, you have to pay $2,000.
Pretty much, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
It would be a little bit cheaper than that, but it would be almost that.
Is that like the minimum you can do? Because this is just standard cruise sort of etiquette or process, right?
Yeah, so that's because they use the Norwegian cruise ships, so it's their policy. So that's what they have to go up by. So.
Okay.
But so even if you... Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just going to ask, so if you go with 3 people, then you have to pay $3,000 if you stay with that same base room.
I think it actually... So the room price actually goes down a little bit when you get more people in your room. So I think that's why I'm sure people did it this year. I didn't see any Facebook posts about it, but like... Last year, I saw a lot of people with 4 people in their room. Yeah. So, like, you can do the bunk bed thing or, like, the couch folds out or the bunk bed, depending on what room style you have.
Okay.
And I could see people doing that just to bring the price down.
Okay. See, yeah, that aspect of it I don't know, and it's kind of confusing to me, which also sort of goes into the drink packages as well, because that's another add-on. We paid, I think, about roughly $1,000 for the 2 of us, not each person, but a grand total of $1,000. So tacked on top of that price was the drink package that we bought, and we did the Premium Plus again. We did that last year, which gets you like top shelf, like basically any liquor you want, any alcohol you want,
except Louis the 13th.
That's the only thing that's not included. We did ask about that. Just curious, it's $300 an ounce, I think she said.
Yeah. We did not partake.
No. But I was like, that's not bad, because there's a steakhouse that we go to for our anniversary, or we used to. We haven't done that in many years. And I almost accidentally bought it. And he's like, you sure you want to buy this? It's $600 an ounce.
Yeah, it was like $500 or $600 an ounce or something.
I'm like, oh, shit, fuck no, I don't want that.
At least he came back and told you.
Because there was no price by it. And I was like, you know what? It's a special occasion. I'm going to splurge.
Yeah.
Splurge.
Splurge.
Yeah, I'm going to splurge. Give me the Louis the 13th. That sounds awesome. I don't even know what the fuck this is. I know it's cognac. I'll try that. Comes back like, yeah, this is you sure you want to do this? Like, no, I do not.
Thank you for asking me.
Splurging would be like, all right, I'm gonna spend $30 a pour or something like that.
Yes. Yeah.
Not fucking no. So
anyways,
$100 wasn't bad. We're rambling again. So the drink package, we got all the booze you want, anything. I think champagne as well. I don't know if they have like Don or anything, but
I guess I don't know if they do. I've always wanted to try it.
We should try champagne
next year. We should see if they have Dom Perignon.
Yeah. Any case, all the booze you want, all the Starbucks you want, as long as you only bought one at a time.
One per person, which was last year. I know I bought 2, but whatever.
And we talked to some other people, and they said, they didn't give a shit when I walked by. They gave me 2.
I think I just happened to. Yeah. I tried twice to get 2, and they're like, no, you can only get 1.
Yeah. Water bottles, like water out of a water bottle instead of like the fountain waters
the
they
cans
have.
Or whatever.
Or just even the spigot. You can get up and get like a glass of ice water, and they'll give you that for free. Yeah. All the soda you want, all the juice you want. I think all the juice you want.
So the juice is at the cafe, so that's free to everybody. Yeah, juice and water and coffee is free to everybody unless you do the Starbucks.
Okay. So that Premium Plus got you basically all the drink packages in one. It was broken out also where they had just a booze package, which wasn't like the top shelf booze, which I did partake a little bit this year. I got a couple of like double pours of good whiskey and whatnot. Yeah.
Because last year you didn't do that at all because you didn't know.
Yeah.
So.
And all that stuff. So, we talked, I think, last year of not doing this drink package, and we even talked this year of not doing it and like paying as you go just to see if it's worth it. I still haven't done the calculations to see if it's worth it or not.
But you did keep a track of what we drank, so we can
for roughly, alcohol at least, not for coffee or soda.
Sodas, I know I had like 3 a day, probably 2 or 3 a day. Coffee, I did 3 a day. So I mean, we could figure out
probably figure it out. Yeah. But also, it's kind of hard because I did take a photo. They had like on their screen, like on the atrium, they had that back screen, and it was rotating photos and shit. And they had like a list of all the custom, like unique cocktails for this. For this cruise up there, and the prices by them, and they're like $10-11 a drink. And I don't know how to like price this out because if you go to a venue here in Chicago and buy a beer, you're going to spend $15.
Right.
Here it might have been $8 or $10.
Exactly.
So it's like, what's the actual price of it?
Yeah.
We didn't ask. We didn't pay for it. So even if it was sort of $8 for a can of beer, right? That's what you're paying for. Like the average I go on now when I go to shows is it's $15 a beer is what I'm looking to pay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So whenever I'm thinking about this in my head, it's like, all right, it's $15. Even though it's not quite $15 for this trip, in my head, it's still sort of like $15 a beer, even though it's not. So I don't know. It's
in a lot of venues, the cocktails are $21
exactly
now. Like,
right.
I'm thinking House of Blues. I know that they're $21, and if you do a double, that's $27 or $29.
In some places you go, it's like $90 for a double.
Remember we went. It was in Tennessee.
Yeah.
And it was like $48 if you got a double.
Yep.
And you didn't even know that, and you're like, "Oh, just buy it," and then, that was fun.
Yeah. So in any case, we did that drink package. I think you already said they made an announcement for next year that there will be only one drink package available. Yep. I'm assuming it's going to be that Premium Plus just to make it easier on everyone.
It's called More, so I don't know if everything's included now or if they're. I don't know. I don't know how they're doing it.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah. So next year you might have to ask some questions before you're like, oh, I want top shelf.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Well, yeah, we'll see about that. I hope it's just a simple, like, give them the card and
it's one for one.
You bought the drink package, you get it, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Did we say the port that we took out?
No, we didn't. No.
We ported at.
But we sailed out of Miami and then we went to Puerto Plata, Dominican Republic.
Or Puerto Plata. Yeah. And the ship we were on this time was the Norwegian Gem.
Yeah.
Last year was the Pearl.
The Pearl. Next year is the Jewel.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which they're all the same, basically.
They're all the Gem class.
Yeah.
Ships for Norwegian. I think there's like 4 of them. We watched the video last night or something. But yeah, that's sort of the bookkeeping, I guess. For
that was a long intro. So
yeah.
Anyways, let's talk about actually stuff to do with the party.
Yeah.
Or the
boat.
The boat.
So last year we flew in the day of the pre-party, which was the day before we set sail. This year we flew in the day before the pre-party.
Yes. So we flew in on Saturday, the 26th.
Because we set sail on Monday.
Yep.
Okay. We didn't do a whole lot once we arrived.
No. Saturday, like we went to the hotel bar and went and got some dinner at like a local pizza place.
It was college football, so we watched that from the bar.
On your phone?
On my phone, because they didn't have it, right?
Yeah.
And then, we found a local pizza place like 2 blocks from the hotel. Stopped and got a few toiletries and stuff that we forgot to get because there's a grocery store right there. But other than that, we just sort of crashed and sort of hung out in the room and sort of relaxed a little bit.
Yep.
The next day was more of the same. We did do sort of a pool day at the hotel pool where we just sort of hung out by the pool. We didn't go swimming or anything.
Right.
We just sort of sat there.
Could have swam.
I think we both read a little bit.
I read 2 pages.
I think I read a couple chapters. After that, we got ready and went to the pre-party.
Yep.
But before that, we went to the record store. We found a record store that was there. I can't remember the name
Sweet
of it.
Records?
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Okay. It wasn't too far from Magic Brewery. It was probably a 15-minute walk.
Maybe a 10-minute walk, yeah. It was just around the corner, yeah.
Problem is, we got there like right before they closed.
Yeah.
So we were quickly looking through. We did get a like Linkin Park cassette tape.
Yes.
Just to have. We already have it on vinyl and whatnot, but like we want to start collecting cassettes as well.
Yeah, we're trying to do that because we're going to build one of those things.
Yeah. Hi-fi system
that
eventually.
Thing, yes. But yeah, like we had an hour to get there before they closed because I knew they closed at like 5 p.m. or something, but the Uber ride was just ridiculous. The traffic was
horrible.
Yeah.
So much fucking traffic.
Yeah.
And the light, we sat at like one red light for like 3 rotations of us trying to get through. And eventually we were next and it turned red and our Uber driver went right through it.
Yeah, like I'm not sitting here again.
Normally I fucking hate that. People do it here in the city all the time. And I'm like, fuck you, stupid motherfuckers.
Yeah. If we would have sat there again, I bet they would have closed before we got there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways.
So that was kind of cool. I do want to go back and check that place out. Maybe next year we'll check that one out. If we stay in the same spot, we'll see where we stay. But then we went to the pre-party, which was Magic 13 Brewery. I don't know if we said that already. We probably did.
No, I don't think we have. Okay. So yeah,
that's where it was this year. This year's host was Jose, Jose Mangan.
Yep.
Who it started at like 6 and it started like right away.
Yeah, yeah. Go
ahead.
I was gonna say where last year, like we got there at 6 and it didn't start till like 9.
It started late. Yeah.
It was kind of weird, and that was Josta, right?
No, that was the dude from Killswitch. Jesse
Leach.
Jesse Leach. Yeah, Jesse Leach.
Thank you. We got there. But yeah, so this year was so much better, and also the space was better in my opinion, because like the brewery's pretty small inside, but they have a huge patio or like rock area.
Yeah, they have a huge patio, a lot of seating area as well, where last year there was very few seats. There were there were seats around the perimeter.
It was more like a lounge last year.
Yeah, you had like the lounge seats around the perimeter, and then you had your big dance floor, and that's where most people were in that big dance floor thing.
Last year reminded me so much of a high school dance.
Yep.
And this year was more of like a gathering to be able to like talk to people, and it was easier to have conversations and stuff, I thought.
No, yeah, I agree. I like this space a lot better as well. Breweries are typically a lot cooler anyway, in my opinion. I like going to breweries, and they're all sort of set up very similar. So this was kind of cool to sit and watch, or not watch, but to hang out.
Yeah.
And we met a lot of cool people there as well. We met the Craigs.
Yeah, so technically we met the Craigs at the hotel before leaving.
Oh, we did, yeah.
Before we got in our Uber.
One of the Craigs.
One of the Craigs, yes. But we were kind of sitting... One of our table is kind of closest to the, not closest to the door, but like one of the closer ones to the door. So like as soon as they got there, they like came over and
because we saw him while we were waiting for our Uber, like you said, and he comes in, like sees our shirts, like, hey, you're my people, right? Mm-hmm. You're going to the boat. We'll see you there on the boat. Awesome. And asked him to go in pre-party, blah blah blah, just normal chit chat shit, right? And then came to the pre-party and like saw us right away and started chatting.
So we kind of all hung out together a little bit, and we say the Craigs because their names are both Craig.
Yeah, they met last year on the boat.
Became friends.
Just two random guys,
one's from Canada, one's from the U.S. So
they were Canada Greg and the U.S. Greg. Yep.
Yeah, Craig.
Sorry, not Greg. Craig. I know that. I know.
The next person we met or knows them as Craig, not Greg.
Oh, does he?
Yeah.
That was Landon and Betty, I believe.
Yeah.
They're from Canada as well.
They're from Canada, yeah.
Like a lot of people we met were from Canada, and then we ended up meeting somebody on day one or something, talking to them, and like, holy fuck, of course you're from Canada. Everybody's from Canada. He's like, really? I haven't met a single person.
Yeah.
I was like, are you sure? Because everybody we meet is from Canada.
We're like, everybody we've talked to is from Canada so far.
Yeah.
Not so far, but many of them. So Landon and Betty are in a cover band. They're in a tribute band.
Are they in a tribute band?
Yeah, System of a Down tribute band.
Oh, okay.
Betty's the vocalist and Landon is the bassist.
I knew he was the bassist, and I couldn't remember if Betty was the vocalist or the drummer. For some reason, I kept thinking drummer.
Oh, no, she said vocalist. So.
Sweet, yeah. Saw them all over the boat as well. Super cool people. The Craigs we ran into
the first day.
But I ended up running into him again later. During Napalm Death, I think. It was just one of those passing by head nod type things, and then I don't think I ever saw them again.
I never saw them again, and the last day I was really, really looking for them because I'm like, it's been 3 days and I haven't seen you guys. But that's how it goes on the boat. It's like sometimes you run into people all the time, and then other times it's like you're just at different areas or different things, and you don't see each other. Yeah,
and then we met this other couple we were sitting next to, Denise and Jared.
Yes.
Jared, yeah.
They're from Ohio, I think.
I think so. I can't remember.
No, Maryland. They're from Maryland.
Are they from Maryland?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
Yeah.
Sorry. So many people, I get so confused.
Another super cool couple. They were on last year's boat as well.
Yep.
And we ran into them a couple times, at least once that I remember.
Yeah, I saw Jared a couple times, and then them as a couple once. Yeah.
So chatted them up a little bit on the boat as well.
But we did. I saw them actually a lot, and we did a lot of the head nod things. But like actually talk to them was twice. Like I talked to Jared once, and then them as a couple once. Yeah.
So that was really cool. Like running into all these people at the pre-party, and then running into them again on the boat, and just sort of like, hey, how are you doing? What's been your favorite so far? What's your thing you're doing? Blah blah blah, all that kind of shit.
Yeah, I can't wait for next year to see some of these people again.
Yeah, hopefully.
Like just meet up. We met a lot more people. Those are the couples or a couple of people that we remember their names.
Especially at the pre-party.
There's Kansas City that was there. There was the group of 4 that was sitting next to me that I can't remember who they were. There was people from Pennsylvania that I talked to that I can't remember who they're from. Yeah, I can't
remember a lot from after early on that night.
I figured. Anyways, so I apologize for everybody that we did not mention, but
definitely. Maybe it's because we ran into these couples and these groups on the boat and talked to them more on the boat. Maybe that's what it was.
Where the other people, like I talked to them. So I basically sat in the same area, and then people were coming around me, and like I tried to get up a couple times, and people are like it was generally a gentleman that I was trying to get up so that they could sit down. They're like, no, stay sitting. I'm like, I've literally been sitting here for 3 hours. Like, can I stand up? So
we did stay there for quite a while.
We
did
5.5 hours. 5.5 hours,
something like that.
Yeah. So, but anyways, then we went to bed.
Went to bed after we got some food. I remember the food being a little annoying. We did a vlog on this, and maybe that will be up there. Maybe that'll be in there. But
we tried to go to Checkers, and
we ended up the street. The line was just fucking horrible.
Yeah.
We were only the second in line. We stood there for like 20 minutes. Got a
Pizza
Hut delivered, which took 20 minutes as well. Yeah. The same amount of time we were standing in line it took for Pizza Hut to make our food and deliver it to us.
Yeah. So thank you, Pizza Hut.
Yeah. Anywho, day 1 of the actual boat, when you board and all that shit.
Yeah.
We were down in the lobby trying to get like an Uber and everything.
Yeah.
And you saw these 2 guys. I don't know how it happened. They just sort of came over and like, they're riding with us.
I had to go in. I went inside to pee. That's what I did. So I went inside to use the restroom, and then I got in the elevator. They got in the elevator with me. I judged them, and I was like, "You guys going on the boat?" And they're like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Did you go last year?" "No, this is our first time." And then one of the guys told us about how they found out about it and all that stuff. And the whole conversation happened as I was going back down to the lobby. We get down there, and I like just turn to them. I'm like, "Hey, you want to share an Uber? I mean, we're going to the same spot.
Yeah.
So why spend
money? Have 2 cars?
Yeah. Why have 2 cars to the same spot?"
Exactly.
So I'm like, let's just share an Uber. So their names were both Josh.
Again, just like the Craigs.
Yeah.
It was the Joshes.
The Joshes. Yeah.
Except for you had bearded Josh and non-bearded Josh. So that's how I remember them apart.
But every time we saw them, they were generally together on the boat too. So I'm like, oh, there's the Joshes. So.
And they're the ones we ran into the most on the boat and talked to the most on the boat.
Yeah. Just randomly too. Like we never planned to run into them. It was just like,
we're
you're here.
Walking
you're
around,
here. Yeah. So on the Uber ride over though, we kind of got to know them a little bit. They're from SoCal.
Yep.
Just randomly talked about some things, and it was their first time on the boat. So when we got there, we kind of like, oh yeah, you drop off your bags, you do this, you do this, you do this.
Oh yeah.
And then we didn't see them again until we got on the boat, though.
Probably the next day.
Something
probably. Like that. I can't remember exactly when exactly we ran into them again.
But anyways.
So yeah, I mean, once we got there though, we did pick a later time this year to go there.
We did the 1:00 time or 1:30 time, but we ended up going at like noon because that's what time we were ready.
We were ready, and it's like, fuck it, like there's really not any restaurants around us in this little area. There's that burger place we went to during the pool day. There's that pizza place, and there's the Checkers across the street. Don't want to be dragging our luggage. We could put it in the baggage, check your bags at the hotel type thing. I don't think the bar was open at the hotel yet either.
No, because that's what our plan was, is to go to the bar, and then it wasn't open.
So it's like, whatever, let's just fucking go to the boat, and we'll wait there, and if we can get on early, sweet. If not, whatever. So we end up went through security. It's a normal thing. You go through security, you go through the line to get your cards and like all that
like
sort of check-in basically.
Yeah. And security is basically like an airport.
Yeah.
Like you get all your shit scanned and you walk through a scanner.
Yeah.
That's it.
Drop your bags off outside before even going in with the porters.
Yeah.
I think you can probably bring it in if you
can.
want.
Yeah, you can carry them yourself if you want.
The porters will take it right to your room. Yeah. So
it's kind of nice.
That wasn't too bad. The line was the line. It's always pretty slow to get through that line, but whatever. Then you get like your boarding number of like what group you're going to be called to go in, like just like an airplane, like group 1, we're boarding you. Group 2, we're boarding you.
So last year, I think we were group 9.
Were we?
Or 11.
I think 11 sounds about
11?
Right.
Okay. And this year we were group 22.
We were 22 and they were on, I think, 12 or something when we walked up.
They were very early, yes.
And we ended up just sitting in the lobby and waiting, and we waited there it was forever.
Forever. I don't know what's better, to go early and get an earlier number or go late. I almost want to say go at 2:00 because eventually after group 21, they just said all other boarding groups.
Yeah, because they do the ding ding. Now we're going to call the next group. And they're like, all other groups. It's like, God damn it.
So then we're just a horde of people going towards it.
It was a little different this year too, because once you got through there, you get in a line, you just keep going through the line, then you're getting on sort of the, I don't know. Gangway, yeah. To go down. And they were letting a section of people, like 20 people or so, go through, stop, put all your bags on the ground, and bring a drug or bomb sniffing dog by to smell everybody's bags. I don't remember that happening last year.
I don't think it did happen last year.
So I don't know what
it could be a random thing.
It could be.
Yeah. Like we don't do it for every cruise just because if people are used to it, then they'll do something else.
Yeah, they'll figure something else out. I don't know. I think that slowed down the process a little bit, which whatever, safety and whatnot, whatever. But it did seem to take a lot longer this year to get on the boat than it did last year.
Yeah, I felt like it did too.
Yeah, but in any case, once we were on the boat, by the time we got on, our room was ready and our luggage was outside already.
Yeah.
So we just unpacked right then.
Right away, like at 2:00 or like, what time did we get on? Probably 2:00, 2:15?
Something like that, yeah.
So it was kind of nice. I mean, that part was nice because last year we didn't get our luggage until it was during Guar, so like 7:00.
I think so, because we went to merch, and then I stayed for Guar, and you went down to drop all the merch off and then unpack everything.
Yeah, because the merch was, we had our stuff. So I guess we got it between 6 and 7:30 probably.
Somewhere in there, yeah. So that was nice. I did like getting everything unpacked. Because I did notice that with the day or two we were in Miami, sort of just hanging out, we didn't pack that well.
No.
So like digging through all your luggage to find the shit you were looking for.
Yeah.
We should have planned a little better. Like we had a big suitcase and a little suitcase. That little suitcase should have been sort of this is the Miami clothes that we're going to wear to Miami, in Miami, and loading onto the boat. And that big bag, we don't even fucking touch it.
Yeah, don't open it.
Exactly.
Yeah, next year.
So whatever, we're still learning. In any case, unpacked. Then we went up to the atrium.
Yes.
Around 3, I think. Or was it 4? I can't
3 o'clock.
3 o'clock,
yeah.
Because COC was playing in the atrium.
Yeah, last year we didn't get a band until
the
sail away party at like 6.
Yep.
So it was kind of nice to get an early.
It was.
Because last year I remember we just we wandered that entire ship last year before the bands even started.
We did. We went and got food. The what's it called? The buffet hall or whatever.
Yeah, the cafeteria buffet.
Yeah, whatever. Cafeteria. Yeah. Was super fucking busy when we got there. I remember that.
Last year?
Because everybody had skipped lunch. Everybody was going to do that.
Yeah.
I think we got food after COC, or at some point in this little thing, we got food, and it wasn't busy at all.
No.
But I do like that they had something going on beforehand.
Yeah.
However, it was the only thing going on, and it was in the atrium, which is pretty small.
Yeah.
And having everybody there for that one show, it was crowded and super packed, and super hot. So we stayed around for like 1.5 songs because we were hugging the wall.
Yeah.
Where everybody was walking by us because we were basically in the way, and I felt a little uncomfortable there. And I was super fucking hot, like drenched in sweat. And
you were standing under a light too, so
I was,
you were like cooking.
And I was wearing the vest I made last year. This is the first time I wore it. This one I'm wearing right now. We'll do a 666 on it like we did last year. But yeah, it was hot, and I wasn't having a good time there, and it was very uncomfortable.
No, we were like so much on the side that you could, like, the amps and stuff or the speakers were in the way. I couldn't see what was going on. I saw
a few of the band play, but it wasn't like a great shot or anything. But the music was good, so I was like, whatever, I'll listen to it. But I just got way too hot and way too uncomfortable, like feeling like I was in everybody's way.
Yeah.
Because we were like right on that wall for the walkway, and I was like, fuck this, I want to cool off mainly.
Right.
So we left, and then we ended up just like wandering the ship some more from there. To try to get a feel for what the ship was like.
Yeah, because I think we had watched one video online or like on YouTube of like the tour of the ship or whatever from somebody who knows.
Well, as soon as we got home, we just went to YouTube and searched up like NCL, Gem, or whatever ship we were on. And there's videos out there. We did the same thing already for next year's boat. And they're showing you like, here's the layout, here's everything that's in it. And even then I was watching, I was like, oh, it's the exact same ship, because everything's named the same. Everything's roughly in the exact same location. Yeah. I think it is in the exact same location as last year's ship anyway. So yeah, but we didn't necessarily need to wander. The one difference here was they had changed the stage setups. There wasn't a stage in Magnum's anymore, which is right next to the casino, or the Spinnakers. There wasn't a stage at Spinnakers either. Instead, they had the sports court. And what was the other one?
No, that's it. So they only had sports court, atrium, pool deck, and the theater this year.
Last year we had 5 stages. They dropped a stage and moved a stage. Yeah. Right, I remember now. And they moved one of those, either Magnums or Spinnakers, to the sports court. Yeah. And we knew where that was. It's that 13th deck right above the back of the ship. Yeah. The pool deck where the cafeteria is, there's a section where you can go outside and sit outside, which is where we tried to always eat. I love being out there. It's so peaceful. It's nice being outside. That's where I always try to go sit for food and whatnot. But right up those steps is the sports court. And last year was just empty, nothing going on in there. And this year's like, I was really excited to see this. So we went down there, checked that out. I think they had the stage set up, and maybe they were setting up the drum kit or something.
I think they were getting set up for Currents to be out there.
Yeah. So that was kind of cool. And then we walked over on that deck 13 where you overlook into deck 12 to see the main pool deck area. And as we were walking over there and looking down, I noticed the fucking stage is still not set up. Yeah. Like, it's barely set up.
Yeah, they barely had it even started.
And it was kind of cool just to sit there and watch them build this stage and see how it was all coming together.
Yeah, I mean, they did it pretty quickly, to be honest.
They really did. They did.
It was very well organized and well, like everybody was in their little positions and did what they needed to do it. But it was kind of weird to not have it done, because last year when we got on the ship, it was done. I mean,
yeah, it was. The one thing I'm thinking of is while we were sitting there waiting to get in that like lobby of the shipyard or whatever, I don't know.
Port.
Sure, that thing.
I like shipyard though. We were in a shipyard.
It had started to rain outside, so I wonder if that little bit of rain pushed them back a little bit, or something had caused them to be pushed back.
I don't know what the last cruise was on the ship, so I mean, it could have been another music cruise or another cruise that had something going on that they needed to tear down their shit to put our stage down. Up. Yeah. And it just didn't coordinate.
Just something wasn't aligned or something. But I do remember seeing that and just being like, oh shit, they're like way behind compared to last year.
I remember looking at the time, and I thought that sail away was at 4.
Oh,
and I was like, are they going to be done? Like, how are they going to sail away at 4 o'clock?
But I do remember that, because you kept being like, we have to go up there. It's 4 o'clock. Yeah. And I was like, okay. And we went up there, and you're like, nothing's going on. What's going on? And I was like, or no, because the stage was still not set up at 4. And I was like, they don't sail away till like 6.
Yeah, I thought it was at 4.
And then it's like, oh, all right. Yeah. But still, they still didn't have everything finished at that point. And I was sort of thinking the same thing, like, what the fuck happened to not get this. So I don't know if it was the rain. I don't know if there's something else, but yeah, there was something going on to like.
Yeah.
It seemed like, I don't know. Maybe that was actually the plan, was to be setting up this late or something. Yeah. I don't know.
Who knows?
But in any case, it was kind of cool to actually get to see them build the stage. I don't think I've ever seen a stage be built.
No.
So it's kind of cool just to sit there and watch it come together and see how they were doing it, and sort of the jigsaw puzzle that is this thing come together.
Like how they do it. I'm trying to think. I feel like I've seen it one other time at like a festival, but I don't know what festival it would have been.
In Madrid, we went into the stadium tour and saw them setting up the Metallica everything, and that was really cool as well.
But they hadn't even gotten to the stage yet the day that we went. They were still doing the pillars.
I can't remember,
Yeah, the stage wasn't even started. But they had it marked out where the stage was going to be, but they were working on the pillars.
And I've seen time-lapse of like a stage coming together, like Rammstein's, for instance, right? I've seen time-lapse videos of that. I think it'd be fucking awesome if they sold tickets to like a stadium to watch the stage get set up.
Yeah,
I'd easily buy like an all-day pass and just sit there and watch this thing. Like,
I would too.
$10 a ticket, $20 a ticket, and then you have one concession stand open. Like, I'd go there and I'd spend fucking all day just sitting here watching this.
Like, that's what sold me on the
Madrid
venue
thing
in Madrid, was because she basically said like, oh, we only offer this one tour package or whatever because it's a reduced experience because they're setting up for an event this weekend.
Because the other one, I think you got to go down to the pitch and stand on the pitch.
Yeah. And like walk around the seats and stuff.
You can't do that because they're setting up.
Yeah. And then I'm like, they're setting up the stage?
That's what we care more about than the soccer football
Anyways,
pitch.
This is not about Madrid. We have a whole episode on that, but...
No, same thing. Like, just getting to watch it. I would love to sit there and just watch that shit.
Yeah, and we watched it for a long time.
We really did. But then it's sort of like, all right, let's go wander around some more. As well as we were wandering around, we found some other things, such as the Cthulhu Lounge.
Yeah.
That was new this year.
It is. So it's I think it's like the wine bar lounge or something.
So next to Magnum's is next to the casino, and then there's like 3 or 4 bars. There's like a champagne bar, which turns into a
whiskey
beer bar, which turns into a whiskey bar.
Yeah.
It's really it's 2 bars, 1 bar, one. They're all like
isn't it all connected though?
The whiskey bar might not be connected.
Oh, okay.
That might be like a door that goes into the back room for like staff only. So they're not technically connected. But there's like essentially, I think they're considered like 3 bars, but it's really like 1 to 2 bars, all in this short little area.
But it's on the back side of the whiskey bar. Is the Cthulhu, or what was the Cthulhu Lounge? Yep. So I don't know what that area is called if you're just looking at the normal ship layout.
It's just it's just like a normal
lounge
area. Yeah, exactly.
And last year it was a lounge area as well, which just had couches and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But this year they decorated it like they had some leaves and stems and stuff to like decorate it, and then they had skulls and pictures and stuff along the side.
They had a couple Cthulhus up over all over the place.
And like
different
books and stuff.
I think they had a lot of Lovecraft books. I didn't look at the books. They may have all been Lovecraft. I don't know.
They could have been. And then the pillows were for the lounge as well. Those weren't normally in the lounge yet. Because I was there on the last day when they were tearing it down. So everything they were packing up, kind of like Christmas.
Yeah.
It almost looked like that. Like they were wrapping everything up.
To keep it safe and whatnot.
Yeah.
And this was just some random guy who reached out to Sixman, right?
It
was all on Facebook or something like that.
It could have been. So, I read the thing and now I can't remember because it was like a couple weeks ago. But it seemed like it was somebody who reached out and then like a designer for Sixman helped with it.
Oh,
so I think it was like a collaboration of doing it.
Somebody saying like, hey, it'd be really cool to do something like this. And they're like, what are you thinking? And then they worked with somebody maybe.
Yeah. And I don't know. I really liked the space. I sat in there a couple times. For some reason, my legs or feet got swollen and they hurt really, really bad the whole trip. But I thought it was just me. Seems like from Facebook.
A few other people.
A lot of people were suffering from it. So, but I really enjoyed it for a couple reasons. One, to just go sit down because you could still hear Magnum's stage, the band that's playing there. You can't see it, but you can hear it.
And as we said, there wasn't a stage at Magnum's, but due to schedule changes, there was a stage at Magnum's. We'll talk about that
going ahead a little bit. But I also liked it because it is dim lit in there, or they had it dim lit in there. And it was really nice just to like kind of go and just sit back and like relax in a dim lit spot.
That's an interesting thought because Magnum's wasn't supposed to be there. So how does this space feel without a stage there, without music?
The sound, without the music? Yeah.
What's that going to feel like? I don't know if I would have liked that as much.
That's true. Because I didn't sit in there except for when there was a band there.
Right, exactly. Because you wanted to hear the music and you wanted a cool little cozy dim lit spot to like hang out and enjoy it.
Yeah.
Interesting. I didn't think about that until you just now. Huh. Okay. Other new things this year, they had a mental health space up in the teen lounge next to the arcade on deck 12 around the food court area.
Yeah. We didn't ever go in there. We really should have. Because I think it would have been a cool space to just check out and talk to some people and stuff. But yeah, we never did that. So.
And then one new thing as well this year was the Bliss Lounge sort of pre-merch pickup.
Yes.
Last year the first day we were in there, we just sort of hung out in there. There were a bunch of people just sort of lounging and hanging out.
Oh, that's what we did last year. Yeah, because we had to wait for our room and there was nothing going on. So we just got drinks and sat in there.
Yeah, a bunch of people are doing the same thing.
Yeah, I remember that.
This year it was just pre-pickup merch. So you go up if you bought merch. And they had very limited merch you could buy ahead of time.
A couple shirts.
I think like a tank top, a Hawaiian type shirt, and the normal sort of a festival type shirt, right?
Yeah.
We only got the festival shirt, one of those, which is kind of cool to pick that up ahead of time or purchase it ahead of time.
I think we purchased it in July, if I remember right.
Yeah, I think so.
I don't know when the pre-order actually started, but
just give them your name. They hand you a package, and they're wrapped up like they're going to ship them.
Yes,
individually wrapped. It's so fucking weird.
Yeah, I wonder if you didn't pick it up, if they shipped them after the.
Oh, maybe because they even had like a print label slip or whatnot in there. Yeah, I don't know. That's weird. In any case, whatever. They have you open it, make sure you got the right items. One couple around the time we were getting there apparently got the right item, just the wrong size. Yeah. So go get that exchange, blah, 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 all that fun stuff. That other than like a few decor changes between everything.
Yeah. It looks a little different.
Exact same layout as last year.
There's like the ship just looked a little different the first day, but then after that, it's the same ship.
It's the exact same ship. Yeah. Exactly. Any case, that was us sort of just wandering the ship. Then we get to the sail away party, which, it's your sail away toast. Your little Jose's going to come out, give a speech. Lamb of God's going to come out. We're going to do a shot.
Yeah, you and the couple we were talking to, the guy of the couple.
He was from Cleveland, I believe.
Yeah, from Cleveland. Yeah, that's the Ohio couple. Yeah.
Because they really wanted to see Chimaira.
Yes, yeah. Yeah. But and after the burial, because that's when we found out after the burial is not going to be there. But you guys, he went and got shots and brought them to you, and you guys took them right away. I'm like, no, you're supposed to wait and do it with everybody.
And they came back with more, so we did more. Yes, so whatever. Yeah. it worked out.
This year we got the alcohol shots. Last year we had
just the juice.
The juice.
Yeah. We're standing there talking with them, and as you alluded to, somebody around us. Well, so I mean, even before that, they did come out and make an announcement. I guess even before that, take another step back. For the sail away party, we were standing up on the 13th deck looking down.
Yeah, like we did last year, yeah.
And it was weird because there was nobody on the stage. Nobody near, on the rail. Nobody near the rail. The whole front of the stage was just empty. Nobody there.
Yep.
And a lot of people just sort of hanging back. And they're holding people back. It's like, what the fuck's going on? And then where we stood on stage left last year for Lamb of God's first set it's all roped off, and then they start bringing out chairs, folding chairs, and putting those up. I'm like, what the fuck? Are they going to put folding chairs on this whole fucking thing? That is dumb as shit.
I kind of thought that too when they brought out all the folding chairs. I'm like, is this going to be like a seating area, like seats?
Yeah, and I was like, it was, again, like we had seen them setting up the stage, and it was like so far behind. And I was like, is this why everybody's being held back? It's because they haven't put folding chairs up here yet? They don't want people moshing in this area? Because it's dangerous or something?
Yeah. We already told people oh no, they're like, oh, could we walk out there? And I'm like, yeah, that's where the pit is going to be.
Yeah.
And
So I don't know. But no, it was just in that one area because they had it roped off for ADA.
Yeah.
Which, cool, great. They have an ADA section
I don't remember
on the floor.
that last year, so that's really cool.
I don't either, yeah.
I mean, it could have been there or could have been around there, but it is really cool that they got the front corner of the stage,
So they had that corner, and then there were two ADA sections on the 13th deck on either stage, on stage left or right, about halfway down through that, from the stage all the way to the back to where that bar is.
Yep.
Little sections for ADA there as well. So if they did have ADA, I feel like it was up there last year.
It could have been. I don't remember.
But nothing on the ground
last year. So
I don't really remember either. Yeah. But that was really cool to see that there. At first, I was a little pissed. Like, what the fuck are these folding chairs doing here?
But it was really weird because, like you were alluding to, they weren't letting people through the gates. And I remember when they opened the gates because they were kind of opening the gates like cattle, but because it was on both sides, and they were They're not called security. They're called event safety.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah, on the back it says event safety, which I kind of liked better than security, but the security people, they were like kind of communicating to each other, and one guy almost moved the barrier before they were supposed to, and he like put it back, but it was kind of funny.
But they did move it eventually, and people finally rushed up there and got their spot. And cool, it's basically the same as last year, right? Yeah. Which is really cool to see. I'm glad they didn't put folding chairs all over that.
And that's when we moved down to the pool deck as well.
That is right, because we were like, oh, okay, so you can get down there. Let's go find a decent spot.
Yeah.
And we were standing center stage, just outside of the grass pit area, right?
Outside the pool, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, whatever. But while we were standing there waiting, they made an announcement that it's going to be 30 minutes late. Yeah. So it's supposed to start at 6. It's going to start at 6:30. It ended up being about 40 minutes or so before.
40 or 45 minutes, yeah.
Jose came out, did the little chat, did their shot with Lamb of God, and then move over for Exodus.
Yeah. Which I felt like this year that whole bit or that whole part of it was kind of rushed.
I felt the same way.
Because last year, like I feel like Jose talked forever, Randy talked forever, and then Municipal Waste came out.
Yes.
And this year I felt like it was like boom, boom, like, okay,
we're 40 minutes behind schedule. We got to get this shit fucking going. Let's get this working.
We're already out of port. So
right. We've already started sailing away, which kind of sucked. I liked that last year of watching the band play as we take off.
Yeah. And this year we were out of port before it happened.
Yeah. But while we're waiting for all this to even start, you hear certain mumbles around you, and you had left to do something, I think, or...
No, I was there. Yeah.
I thought... Whatever. Oh, yeah. All right.
Oh, no. Did I leave?
I can't remember.
I may have left. Yeah.
In any case, I turned around, like, was listening to this guy chat. He's like, so Dethklok is canceled for tonight. They were supposed to play on the pool deck. And After the Burial is not on the boat, which the Cleveland couple, that was his band he wanted to see.
That was the band I wanted to see. I was so excited to see After the Burial. I wanted to go to all 3 sets. I was so ready to hear Behold the Crowned live again.
Oh, right. Yes, I remember. Yeah, I remember the guy's story and why it was so special to him and meaningful for him, too. Yeah, like, he's had some losses in his life, and, like, yeah.
Yeah.
I remember now. Fuck. Yeah, that did suck. The thing that really kind of frustrated me is there was no announcement. This guy that I was talking to, that I overheard talk, and then he showed me his phone, he found out from a Facebook post.
Yes. And I still had service, so I went to Facebook as well. Because we were close enough to port where I still had service. So I went to Facebook as well and saw it. But there was no announcement.
No announcement about Dethklok being canceled. No announcement After the Burial not being on the boat. Like, just sort of, we put it on Facebook. Go check Facebook. Yeah. And it's like, I'm not even on Facebook. So how the fuck am I supposed to learn about
And
this?
Also, okay, not just about the Facebook. There was a lot of updates on the Facebook I saw when we got to port and when we got back, when we got to Dominican Republic and when we got back to Miami. But how many times did they say, go to sixmen.net or whatever to find the updated schedule? It's like, we have no service.
Right. We don't have internet. We did not buy the internet package.
Like, so you need to communicate to people. Like, pretend we're in the dark ages where we don't have... That was one thing that was really frustrating the whole trip is there was a lot of schedule changes, which I think we've alluded to a couple times now. But the thing that frustrated me the most was everything was like, go to sixmen.net. And it's like, we don't buy the internet package. Well, we did once on a cruise to purchase Lamb of God for last year's cruise. But otherwise, we're not on our phones. So we don't want to buy the package.
Yeah, it was really annoying. And like, not even Dethklok being canceled. We didn't talk about that. But they were canceled because they were playing on the pool deck. And the weather was it was too windy, too rainy. Like, they could not play on the pool deck, which, cool, makes sense. When they announced this, I know we had talked to, I don't know if this was on last year's podcast or not, but we had talked about this, at least between us.
Oh, yeah. No, I think we talked about it last year.
That, like, cool, Dethklok's going to be there. It'd be cool to see them on the pool deck. If they do it, it's going to be the first night only.
Yep.
Because you have to be in the dark to see, like, the screens and everything.
And you got to be close to port where it's not so windy.
Yes. Or it's going to be only in the theater. But they're the second band on the bill, so how do you have the second band not play the main stage?
Right.
Okay, they'll have one set on the main stage, which will be the first day, and then everything will be
that's exactly how I thought it was supposed to be, and that's how it was supposed to be.
And that's how it came out, right.
And when they had canceled this, they did say it will be rescheduled later in the cruise.
Did they say it would be rescheduled?
Yes.
Okay. It was
Spoiler,
not.
it was not. They only played 2 sets.
2 sets, yep.
Which is crazy that they could have done it at like 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
They really could have. In the theater?
Yeah.
Yes, because it's dark in there.
Yeah.
Right?
You don't have to, it could have been at 11 o'clock in the morning. I mean, it could have been any time of day.
Yes, it could have
like,
been.
Anyways.
But even when they announced Dethklok and they're like, they're going to play, we said that this is how you're going to do it. It's like, they're going to fucking play on the deck. Like, well, don't do that. Like, it's going to get fucked up possibly. Like, there's so much chance for it getting fucked up. Because last year that
happened where they only had the screen up for like the first night and then they put the screen down and then it wasn't up the rest of the time. So
whatever. It is what it is.
And I just want to say that as we talk about schedule changes, we're kind of complaining, but we're not complaining. So it happened a lot.
But we are complaining. But yeah, with all that said and whatnot, it was a quick sort of sell away party thing. Because again, they had to get things back on track, I guess, or move it along as quickly as they can. But then Exodus came out, and that was a cool set. It was a lot of fun to see that.
Yeah.
We did leave a little bit early because it was late getting started, and they didn't say anything about other sets changing and whatnot.
Right.
So we were unsure if Currents was still playing. They were playing on the sports deck. So we made our way back to the sports deck, and sure enough, they were already in the middle of their set.
Yeah.
So we weren't sure if everything got pushed back at that point or not.
Because, again, no announcement was made, so...
Yeah. So watched most of their set, almost all of their sets from back there.
Yeah, we kind of set up so the sports deck has like the basketball court, and then there's like a fence around it or like a net around it.
A net, so if you throw your basketball, it doesn't go in the water.
Makes sense. And then there's some bleachers or like wooden bleacher type things, and we kind of sat on those.
Yeah, I sat on those because I didn't know what Currents was, and I kind of I just want to experience it from up here. The next show we see will be down there on the floor.
That's exactly what I thought too, because I was like, oh, let's just stand. And I kind of stood in the back for a while, like at the rail area, and I thought the same thing. I was like, oh, for the next one, we'll be down on the floor and see what it's like.
I really liked this stage. I really liked this venue. I'm going to call them venues and stages interchangeably. It's all one venue, which is the boat. Just different stages at this venue. I'm going to use the words interchangeably, but this venue or the stage, I loved. I thought this was so fucking cool.
I liked how it was set up because, like, as we sailed away, you could see Miami in the background, and because the drum kit was on the very back of that area or of the stage,
and right behind them was like a little walking area, and then down below that is the food court we sit all the time. Yeah. And then the back of the boat, which as you were saying, like, we're sailing away and you can see Miami getting smaller and smaller as we leave.
Yeah, so that was a really cool view, and like the experience was really, really cool right there.
Yeah, I thought that was fucking phenomenal. I was like, all right, this is my new favorite stage. Last year I would have said it was probably Magnum's.
Yeah.
This year this was my favorite stage for sure. And I was so excited to see more shows out here at this stage. But this was the only one that we saw.
Is this the only one that was played?
I don't know if it was or not.
I think it was the only one played on this stage.
Was it?
I think so.
Oh, that sucks.
I think this was everything really else got moved inside. Yeah.
Because then we also left a little early to get food down below. And again, we sat back in that same area we always sit, and you can hear the music great. Yeah. And I was like, this is fucking awesome. I love this area now. This is so much better.
Yeah.
But
so I have a feeling next year they probably won't do this stage just because they couldn't use it.
We'll see. I don't know. I'll save this for the end. This is part of my frustration with this year's boat is this stage and the weather. And again, you can't control the weather, but I think it could have been managed a little better in my opinion. Okay. But we'll see. This was my favorite stage. I hope they bring it back next year.
I hope so too.
Hope weather
I could just see that they don't.
amenable for us to bring it back and keep it. I thought this was a fucking phenomenal stage. After that, though, we got food, like I said, and then we went to stand in merch line just to get that done and over with. We had already bought the shirt pre-purchase because it sold out last year and people were upset. So we're like, let's just go check this out anyway. The line was still super fucking long. Yep. And as we were walking out earlier in the day, too, I can't remember when, it was like super fucking early.
People lined up right away.
Yeah, exactly. Like 4 o'clock that
before sail away. Yeah.
Already way the fuck back.
And they don't even open the doors until an hour or so
roughly
after.
An hour, yeah.
So I think that with the cruise, you have to be so far away from port to be able to open. So that's roughly going to be an hour after cruising away. or the sail away or whatever. But we got in line about 8:20 or 8:30.
I can't remember.
And it closed at 10.
It was about 30 minutes before
Chimaira
went
so that'd be
on.
8:30.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, you're like, do you want to leave? Do you want to stay in line? I was like, oh, let's just fucking stay here. Like, we'll be able to see Chimaira and hear Chimaira as we're in line.
Yeah.
And if not, it's just going to be a little bit of their set. Hopefully we get in sooner, blah, 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 whatever. Let's just stay here.
I was hoping it would be like 30 minutes, get in, get our shit. And then you could, and then I even said, like, I'll run it down to the room. You stay for Chimaira.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, it took us about 2 hours to even get in the door of merch.
Yeah.
And while we were standing there, we were already standing in line for what, like an hour and a half or something?
Probably at least an hour and a half, yeah.
And a crew member comes out, goes like the group behind us was a group of 4, goes behind them and is like, this is where the line is cut off.
Yeah.
He told the people directly in front of him and the people directly behind him, they got out of the line, but the line didn't like really disperse. Yeah. It took a while for it to disperse. I felt so bad for everybody.
I did too, because they waited just as long as we had.
Right.
Yeah.
You could have done this count earlier and like figured out like how long is it going to take and just be like, we're going to work. Or, I don't know. I don't
Maybe
know.
at like 9 o'clock, you could probably be like, okay, we probably have enough to get 50 more people in.
Yep.
Or just say 50 more people can go in and it's cut off. And whatever time that is what time it is.
Regardless of what time it's going to close. Yeah. Just be like, we're not going to be able to.
Because we didn't get in until like 10:30.
It was.
So
late.
it was after 10 o'clock when it was supposed to close.
Yeah.
So, but I saw him when he came out. He almost went to the group in front of us.
Oh, for real?
He did. And like, I kind of like looked at him and I'm like, God damn it. I was like, maybe he's just trying to cut through. But then he went and stood behind that other group, and I was just like, fuck. Like, I feel bad for everybody.
I do, too, because, I mean, they had been standing in line just as long as we had, and missing shows and whatnot, and then having it cut off. Yeah. Like, oh, that sucks.
Yeah. Next year, I would maybe wait and get up at 10 a.m. the next day.
I don't know.
Or like 9:30 and just sit by
the
the wall.
the line's going to be very long. So the thing they did this year and last year is the next day they have 100 posters that are signed by Eyehategod.
Yeah.
Only 100. So I bet that line is super fucking long early in the morning as well for people trying to get posters. So that was sort of...
So maybe go at like 1?
I don't know. That was sort of my excuse for like, all right, let's just go get it done this night because it's going to be super long tomorrow. Everybody trying to get this like limited 100 posters signed. I don't care about that. I just want the poster.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe next year I'll do the same thing. Maybe
just get in line.
Maybe at the sail away party, get in line.
That's true. That's true because you could hear the band playing.
Right.
And just get in line right then.
I'll miss the second band at the second stage, but then I'll probably be coming out of merch or just getting into merch by the time the second pool stage band is playing, right?
Yeah.
So whatever. I might just do that. Is around the time of sail away, get up there and get in line.
Yeah. I'm not doing it 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock, whatever time we walk by those people sitting.
No, I'm not doing that either. Yeah. It's going to be around the sail away. And then once the band like that starts, then I'll go stand in line.
I don't need to be the first person in.
No, but we did stay there for all of Chimaira. We did get to hear all of Chimaira set while in the merch line. And we've talked about this at other festivals and other events too of super long lines, Knotfest Iowa 2021 being one of them, right? Line Fest, where we stood in line for 4 fucking hours for water.
That's a little different though.
Exactly, because this was our choice to stand in line to get merch and miss shit and not have an experience.
Drinking water is not a choice.
Yes.
It's a necessity.
Right.
Buying merch is a choice.
Right.
Not a necessity.
I bitch about long lines for sometimes. I somewhat bitch about this one, but at the same time, it was my choice to stand in this line. I have nobody to complain about except for myself.
Yeah.
I easily could have said, you know what, fuck it. I don't need to buy so much merch. I can just easily go experience music and not have to worry about this shit.
Yeah. And bring home less shit.
And
have less of a bill at the end of the trip.
Yeah. I will say merch did sell out pretty quick.
It did, yeah, because we went back in the next day, I think, for Bleeding Through, and there was stuff sold out.
There was already stuff sold out, yep, and sizes in particular. Yeah. Certain sizes that's the thing. Out.
They had shirts of everything, but there would be like the largest sold out or the medium is sold out, like those common sizes.
And they still had the posters, which is the main thing I want to get anyway. So, and we had already got our normal shirts, so we're good there. They had the sweaters, I think, still.
Yeah, they had all the sweaters, yep.
So
they had plenty of After the Burial merch.
That was funny. They still had the merch up there. Yeah,
I almost bought a sweater, but then I'm like, I'm not seeing them. So, and our whole thing is we buy merch when we see a band. So
yeah, but at that point it's like a misprinted baseball card or something.
Have.
Any case, back to Chimaira, we saw them finish their set, and their sort of closing song or their walk-off song that plays over the PA system was you pointed this out, I think. It was the quartet in the Titanic movie when it's sinking. The song they're playing, that's what they ended up playing as their like walk-off track.
And that's truly what was played when the Titanic. That was the last song played when the Titanic sunk.
I mean, nobody really knows for sure.
Well, that's what's reported.
Yes. Okay.
But I noticed it because I think that's right when we were getting to the door to go into. So basically, the line goes through the pool deck, and like when we get to the door to go into the ship because it's in the library is the merch. I noticed it. I was like, "Is this the Titanic song?" And the group in front of us is like, "Don't say that." And I'm like, "But it is." Like,
it was funny. It gave us all a good chuckle.
Yeah.
After that, we made our way up to see the comedy for the first time.
Yeah.
That was sort of one of our goals this time around, was to go to other events and other non-music related event type things that we didn't do last year.
Yeah, last year we did one podcast.
The Josta podcast.
And then we did the Randy beer thing.
Yes.
Yep. That's the only things that we did that weren't music related last year.
Otherwise, it was like if there's a set playing, we're doing a set.
Yeah. The comedy thing was fine. I don't remember what the comedians' names were. Matthew and...
I can't remember either. He was the main comedian was there last year. I can't remember his name either. You should look this up. We'll probably post it.
We can post it up.
On our YouTube.
Because there was like an opener comedian and then the main comedian. So we'll put their names up here. One's from New York and one's from Utah.
Yeah.
So I remember states, but I don't remember names.
Yeah, that was fine. It was kind of
fine.
Cool. It was a cool change up.
Yeah, it was a different thing. Will I do it next year?
Probably. There's new comedians.
There is new comedians.
I think,
but
anyway.
I probably wouldn't miss a band for it again.
Same for me.
Well, depending on who's playing. Well, but I want to see all the bands next year.
Exactly.
So, but I mean, if it was like Gwar, I would be like,
you don't care for Gwar.
No,
I would go see Gwar over the comedy for sure. But it was fun. Everybody's in there having a good time. It was a comedy show.
Yeah, it was a comedy show. Yeah.
Haven't done one of those in many years, so it was kind of cool.
Yeah,
to do it again.
We always say that we're going to, and then we never do. So.
After that, it was the end of the night, but before we called it a night, we went to the casino real quick just for a little bit. You did some slot machines and won some money, then lost it all.
Yep.
As normal.
As normal.
Goes.
Yeah.
I did the coin pushing machine.
Yeah.
I did that last year. Won nothing last year. It was $10 per like coin spit out. It spit out a bunch of coins.
So at that machine, you can either put in cash.
Oh, can you put cash in?
Yeah. The person the guy next to me put in like a $10 bill, or this machine, you can just scan your room card, so it could get pretty dangerous.
Which it was, because I put $10 in, I do all the coins, nothing happens, and like this little bundle of money is like right here on the edge. And the coin pushing machine, you put a coin in, and it drops the coin down if you don't know what this is, and then it pushes the coin down to another level.
And they're fake coins, they're not like quarters or anything.
And the thing will push it back, which will knock the coins on the edge off down into your hopper to grab, and there's wads of money, like little bundles of money all over the place, that they move forward and could fall over as well. And so did my first $10, got one bundle of money, like really close, wasn't over. It was so close, like, fuck this, I'm doing $10 more. Like, I think it was like a 20 or something that was about to fall over. No, it may have been a 5.
I think it was the 5 on the corner, yeah.
And I was like, I'm going to try this one more time. It's so close. Finally got it. But also this one, like, it would spin around and give you like
a bonus
game.
Yeah.
And if you got the jackpot, it spit out 50 coins.
Yeah.
I got that once, and I ended up with this huge fucking pile of coins, right?
Yeah. I ended up playing the guys that put the $10 in. So I did that, and I won a $20 bundle from that as well. But that was kind of like, I was out of coins, and then all of a sudden the ship rocked a little bit, and more coins fell, and I'm like, whoop, I must keep playing. And it fell, but it didn't fall all the way down. It fell into the little hopper thing, but not enough to like push it through. So then you were going to hand me coins, but another coin fell and like pushed it through.
That is kind of cool. Like as the boat would rock, coins would jostle and possibly fall over.
Especially when they were like way on the edge. Yeah. Where like if you're at a carnival or whatever, wherever those games are, like it wouldn't be rocking. So
yeah. I got a 20 bundle. I got the 5 bundle eventually as well. And you got that 20 bundle. And like I said, there's these like little bundles of money with the $20 bill on top, and you can see there's more bills in there and like little paper clips. As they fall out, you open it up, and it's like a 20 and then 2 to 3 $1 bills.
Yeah, that's it.
So in total, I think we ended up getting like $58.
$53.
$53.
Yeah.
It was like sort of the winning of that 20, 20, and 5 bundle. But we spent $30 for $10 per thing. So we walked away with like $23.
Yeah. And spoiler, we played again later. So we probably lost that $50 as well.
Yeah. So whatever. it was fun. I do enjoy.
It is fun. Yeah, it is
fun.
fun.
Shit, that's right. I did play that a lot more, didn't I? I like the coin pushing machine. It was fun. But yeah, that was the end of
I think
day
you like
one.
that because it is a little bit more strategic versus like a slot where you're just pushing a button.
I just like the coin noise of it falling down.
Oh, okay.
There was my first time in Vegas for like a Magic tournament. Like Circus had a old fashioned coin slot machine, and they're like these coins that are like big novelty type coins, right? Like 2 to 3 inches in diameter. That you put in, they spit more of them out. Like that was my just hearing the clink, 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 like an actual thing, having the physical coin to hit in and pull the lever. I love that.
You like
feeling
that,
and that
more
sound.
than just putting your money in and having it like count down.
I don't give a shit. Like I just want to hear the coins fall, like that clinking sound. But in any case, that was the end of day 1.
Yep.
Day 2 was our photo with Lamb of God.
Yeah, we were early. We were like 11 o'clock.
Yep. Was our time slot. It was super quick to get through.
Oh yeah. Last year I had seasickness, and I felt like it took like an hour and a half.
It seemed to take fucking forever last year. This year was just sort of in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, nonstop. Shook everyone's hand.
Yeah, we remember this
hi.
year because I know last year, I think even in our episode, I was like, we didn't even shake their hands. We just like went in, got our photo, left. Like,
yep. After that, we did the conversation with Mark Morton.
Yes.
That was really cool. I had a lot of fun during that.
That was Ricky Rackman interviewing Mark Morton, right?
Yep. Yeah. And like a Q&A. Like they had mics up for people to go and ask questions.
Oh, right.
Some really cool, really good questions. The one I forgot about, I was thinking about this the other night, was do you fear AI in music and whatnot?
Right.
And then Mark's like, no, if AI is better than me, good, that means I'm not a good artist, or that means I'm not doing my part. I need to be better. And then Ricky is sort of along the lanes I am, is like, yeah, it's fucking scary.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is not going to be fun. But yeah, that was a lot of fun. It was really intimate, really cool. Yeah. Learned a lot more about Mark. I never really heard Mark chat or talk.
No, me neither. We heard a little bit of Randy last year. I remember when he released his book, I watched something on Instagram really, really briefly. It was almost like the same thing, like somebody just interviewing him or whatever. But that's all I've ever heard. So I don't know anything about his life. I don't know anything about...
I didn't know he was a little bit of a deadhead, and that was super awesome. Yeah,
that was fun.
I kind of wanted to go up and ask him, like, hey, did you go check out the Sphere shows at all? And what do you think of that? But I didn't get up and ask. Maybe next year. We ended up buying his book on the boat, so we got a copy of that we need to read. I didn't know he was responsible for some of the lyrics in the songs. Like, I knew he's obviously responsible for the songs.
Yeah, I didn't know that either.
Ditch itself, the root of that song is based off of his property back home, because he has like an old Civil War ditch. And he's like, man, these soldiers had to like dig this ditch themselves. Now they're lying face down dead in it. Yep. Which is the lyrics for the fucking song.
Like, face down in a ditch you dug yourself.
Yeah, I assumed it had something to do with sobriety. Like, you can dig yourself out.
That's what I thought.
You can dig yourself out of the hole you've dug yourself with your pain and your misery, or you can stay down there and fucking die. The choice is yours. What do you want to do?
That's exactly what I thought this song was about.
I didn't realize.
And for him to be like, oh no, I was just out walking my property one day and I noticed these ditches, and I'm like, oh, that's really sad.
That's dark as shit.
Yeah, like that's dark as shit that they had to dig their own ditch and then they died in it.
Yeah, this song has a whole new meaning to me now.
Yeah.
Like, there's not a deeper meaning. It's literally you're dead in the fucking ditch you dug yourself.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh shit.
I mean, I guess we can still think of it as sobriety, but or it could be anything. I mean,
yeah, and that was another part that was brought up as well. It's like songs have different meaning and mean different things to different people, and they talked a little bit about that. I really enjoyed the conversation with Mark Morton.
I did too. It was really
one
good.
of the highlights for me, for sure.
Yeah.
The drum off was the next event type thing we went to in the Stardust Theater.
Yes. And last year I missed it. You missed it because you were playing poker.
Yeah, that was the poker
I had
tournament.
seasickness, so I was in bed and I missed it. So this year I wanted to make sure that we did it. So Art hosts it with one of the Six Men people. I can't remember what
she
her
did
name
the
was.
karaoke. I can't remember her name either.
And then there was 3 drummers as judges.
Judges, yep.
Dethklok's drummer.
Yep.
I can't remember the other ones.
I can't either, honestly.
Was COC's drummer?
I don't think so. I want to say Chimaira.
Chimaira's drummer. Yes. He was the first seat.
And I can't remember.
I don't know who the third
drummer. Yeah, I can't.
But anyways, so I should have wrote down their names as they were going through them, and then I would have remembered. But so they basically judged everybody. So there was maybe 10 or 12 contestants.
Yeah, I can't remember. It's really weird. I assume everybody got to play. Originally, it was supposed to be everybody got to play a 2-minute thing. Then the top 5 came back out and played again to a guitar track. Had to play along to the guitar track, but it got cut so short. They kept coming out, and you could hear them talking like, "You can only do this. You can only do this." They ended up, I think everybody got to play, and they took the top 2 players.
Yep. Because they got 11s. Well, okay. So it's supposed to be scoring 1 to 10, but they made a special card of 11 for anybody who was exceptional. So 2 people got 11s across the board. They came out and did like a kind of a drum off thing.
Like a 1-minute drum off, and whoever won basically.
Yeah.
At that
so
point.
There was a guy that had been playing for 25 years, and then another kid, I don't know how long he'd been playing, but he was really good. And he ended up winning. Basically, because he recovered very well from
he dropped his stick.
And he kept going. Like where another guy did drop his stick earlier, and he fumbled.
Player.
Yeah, and he fumbled. I mean,
you guys like bend over and pick it up.
And he's like, "Oh, I'm so used to having the cup right next to me, and it wasn't there, so I it kind of got."
We ended up running into one of them. Me and the Joshes, Joshes, or maybe both Joshes, I can't remember. Of running into him a couple times and talking to him, and he's like. Because it was the same drum kit for all of them, and they had no idea what the drum kit was going to be when they came out. And we're like, "How was that?" And he's like, "It's fucking insanely hard, dude. Like you don't like you don't have the feel. You're used to doing like this movement to get this sound or to hit this drum, and here it's just like you have to look around like, all right, here's where everything is now. I can't rely on muscle memory here to go do this thing.
Yeah.
And so all of them came out blindly to this kit and just fucking ripped.
The first person that dropped a stick, you can kind of see that because he was like. Fumbling like
he's
what
like,
to
do. I can't go over
here. Yeah. But I mean, I think they all did fantastic. The redheaded guy in the camo shorts was my favorite. I don't remember what his name was, but
I enjoyed this a lot. I wanted the guitar track to come out. I enjoyed it, but I didn't enjoy it at the same time. Because it was sort of like just come out and show your skills, show what you can do. There's a lot of skills, a lot of different skills being shown during your 2-minute sort of demo, but like a song isn't done that way.
Right.
Like you have. So I wanted that structure of how is this going to come together as one whole song, which is why I really wanted the guitar to come out and play that.
Yeah. I don't remember who we were talking to, but I kind of brought that up. Whoever we ended up talking to about it, but I was like, I kept trying to like picture a song to it, but it's basically just like the technical part of there's no song in there. And even one guy's like, "Oh yeah, that first little bit is from a Chimaira song or whatever."
A bunch of them did that, where they're like, the judge drummers would be like, "I really liked how you did such and such thing," and like, "I actually got that from your song, this track, this moment of that song. That's where I stole it from."
Yeah.
Which is kind of cool.
So it was hard for me because I like I said, I was trying to like put it into like how would this sound with a song, but it wasn't that. It was just technical stuff all put together.
Like I love instrumentals so much, right? But when it's going to like a drum solo and an instrumental, it's especially again like one of my favorites is the Implements of Destruction by Chimaira.
Yeah.
And there's like a drum solo in there, and it's sort of like a slow build in there. Like it's just doing a few things, and you add this, and you do those few things, and you add that, and then it just sort of kind of builds and builds and builds. And then the guitars come back in, the bass comes back in, the keyboards come back in, and like it's sort of like it builds on top of itself. So I don't know. I wanted that more cohesive sort of structure.
The sound,
to it.
Yeah. But it was cool. Next year, I mean, I think it was a one and done for me.
Okay, yeah.
Next year, I'll probably skip it.
I will too. I really love the interaction. I love seeing the people. It was also really frustrating to me that it's like, oh shit, we're running out of time. We gotta hurry through.
And
this.
You could tell. Did you say that? Like you could tell because they were like kind of whispering and stuff, and like she would go behind stage and come back out and stuff.
And it's like, you have 2 minutes per drummer.
Yeah.
Why? What
happened?
How did somebody not carry the one when they did the math to realize that this many drummers is not going to work. Let's whittle it down ahead of time type thing.
Yeah. And they did have to like submit an audition tape to get chosen for this. So it was people who had been chosen. I really felt like they stacked the people though, like with people who have less skill to people who have the most skill for the time.
Oh, you think so?
Didn't you notice that? Like,
no, not really.
Oh, I did.
But I can see that.
I really felt like once you got to about the middle was like where the people who had the very technical skills came in and the scores went up as it went on.
I was wondering about that. Like if that was just sort of how it went, because the first lady who went, she was the only person to get a 7, I think. Yeah. And then
and she did good, but I feel like she played a song. I don't think she did a whole bunch of technical
and maybe
stuff.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
The first judge, I can't remember who he was, but the first
He's
judge
the Chimaira judge or Chimaira drummer.
Gave her a 7, then it was 8 and 8, I think.
Yeah, and then everybody else got an 8, 9,
afterwards.
or 10.
So I wonder if he was like, "Shit, am I judging too low?"
Yeah.
So now I'm gonna go up to 8. Will be the baseline note. So like, it's one of those things of like,
yeah. But I really felt like she was playing a song, and then everybody else was like doing technical
showing
stuff.
my skills and stringing them together. Yeah. It was cool how they strung them together. Don't get me wrong. It was more of I still wanted a song. I wanted to like try to pick stuff out and you know what I'm saying. Yeah. In any case, it was fun. I'm the same way. I think it's a one and done for me. Yeah. It was cool to check out. Maybe next year, maybe not. We'll see what else is going on.
Yeah, exactly. Time. And maybe we'll do something else besides the drum off next year.
Yeah, yeah. After that, we went to another conversation with Randy. This was in the theater instead of for Mark. It was in the Spinnaker's lounge. Oh, yeah. Very similar to Mark's. Randy was talking with Ricky, taking questions from the audience and just sort of chatting about stuff. I can't remember what the question was, but it was around scheduling for the boat.
Oh, yeah.
And Randy sort of let it, the way I interpreted Randy's response was basically, and this is paraphrasing, he's like, planning the boats takes so fucking long. Like, I was shocked by how long it takes to schedule a boat and get this shit going. Yeah. Like,
but he did. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, I will get calls. I have got calls on Christmas Day being like, hey, what do you think about this band playing on the boat? He's like, dude, I'm fucking with my family on Christmas Day. Take the fucking day off. Like, call me tomorrow, asshole. Yeah. And then Ricky's like, oh, so there's a boat for next year. And Randy says, oh, the boat for next year's already scheduled. It's not finalized yet, but it's scheduled. So the way I took that is Randy was basically talking about he's working on 2026.
That's what I thought too. Yeah.
And because then Ricky's like, oh, so next year's? You're working on next year? He's like, no, that's done, except for a few small things here and there, but that's done. So I took it as like, he's talking about next.
Like he's getting calls already for 2026.
They're already planning out 2026. Yes. Exactly. So that's how I took it. So in my head, it's like, I guess 2026 is confirmed. That's going to happen. Yeah. The dates and the details are sort of not
and the
up
bands
in the
and
air,
stuff.
But at least we know there's going to be a boat.
Yeah. And he did give some background into scheduling the boat where he basically said like getting the bands for the boat is difficult because like for other shows, it's like a 1 day here, 1 day here thing. But for the boat, they need to have a week booked off.
Yeah.
So like if they have a tour or any other prior engagements or something, it's like, it's not like they can get on the boat on Monday and then be off the boat on Tuesday. Like it doesn't work that way. Yeah. You're here for the whole week. So.
Of the two conversations, Mark was my favorite.
Oh, mine too. Yeah.
We did the thing with Randy last year, which is a lot of fun, like that beer tasting thing. Yeah. I've just heard Randy talk a lot and learning from Mark.
That's true. That's true. Because Randy is the front man. Most bands, the front man is the one that gets interviewed the most or talked to the most, and it's the person that I've also seen from Lamb of God talk the most.
But it was also during Randy's chat that he brought up like, oh yeah, that's a Mark Morton song.
Oh yeah,
and I was like,
he brought up a lot.
I didn't fucking know Mark was writing so much in terms of like lyrics and shit.
But Mark talked about it as well, writing lyrics with Chester.
But that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Like, I didn't know about it until
this day.
Like hearing Mark talk, and then Randy coming back and being like, yeah, if you hear a good hook with a lot of swearing in it,
that's Mark.
That's Mark. Mark is really good with swear words and throwing those in there.
Yeah.
In any case, Randy's chat was fun. I did really enjoy that.
Yeah. I felt like Randy's went by quicker than Mark's. But
it did feel like that,
not rushed or anything, but just went by quicker.
Yep.
So next year we'll have to see.
I also like the more intimate setting for Mark instead of the theater.
For the Spinnakers? Yeah, I agree.
The theater just felt very big and open. I would have wanted a more smaller, condensed sort of area.
Agreed.
After that, though, we did see Bleeding Through at the pool deck.
Yeah. first time ever seeing Bleeding Through.
Same.
So I have one song downloaded, so I've heard their music at least once, but I wanted to hear both Currents. Well, Currents I knew a couple songs, but Currents and Bleeding Through I wanted to hear on the boat as like the first live. You know, like we like live music as our first impression.
Currents and Bleeding Through were brand new to me. I hadn't heard any of their shit.
Yeah.
I fucking loved Currents. Currents was so good. I loved that shit so much.
Yeah.
We'll see them a couple more times, at least one more time on the boat still coming up. And I don't know. I had a blast at their shows.
Yeah. I like Bleeding Through. It's more of a wage war sound of melodic metalcore sounding.
They weren't bad. They had a keyboardist, which was really cool to see. And she did like backing trope singing and whatnot, which was really cool. I liked her singing bits because it was that more melodic sort of coming in, like the slower bits of the songs and whatnot. I did like that. I did like their set too. It was really cool to see. Currents so far was my favorite up to this point.
Of the two, no, we saw 4 bands.
Yeah, we haven't really seen that many music up to this point.
After the convo with Randy, I do have to say I looked at, or like we had a little moment of me saying like, okay, I'm ready for music now. Like I'm done with the whole.
We hadn't seen much music up to that point. It had been a bunch of sort of waiting around. And again, like all the like. There were a lot of fucking schedule changes. So like understanding what's happening and when it's happening is really hard. Because I think it was also during this day, we were walking around, ran into the Joshes again. We were chatting with them. If it wasn't this day, it was another day. I can't remember. It happened a lot. We were just chatting with them. And somebody would say something like, oh yeah, that got canceled or that got moved.
Or this is moved here. Or we heard that this was moved here sort of thing. Yeah.
And so around the boat, they have these TV screens that have the schedule up there. So I was like, oh, I'm going to go take a photo of the new schedule that's up there posted, and took a photo of that. And then I walked back and one of the Joshes is like,
that's not updated.
Is that the updated one? I was like, yeah. He's like, are you sure? And I look at it. And by the time I had taken a photo, another woman had walked up and took a photo, and she's looking at it and she's like, no, it's not. And I was like, guess it's not updated.
Well, and it was weird because like that wouldn't get updated, but then like if you go get food in the cafeteria or in the buffet, I guess they call it a buffet. I kept calling it a cafeteria, but if you went in there, like they would have a printed off piece of paper with the schedule changes, but they wouldn't update the screens.
Well, though that screen did get updated eventually, it just took a bit of time.
I
don't know if those paper ones ever got updated. I bet that was just printed in the morning.
Maybe in the morning. Yeah, maybe.
It just took time for those screens to get updated. But it's like, how the fuck are other people knowing about this unless they have Facebook?
I think it's Facebook, because Facebook had a lot of things from Six Man Sarah. Thank you, Six Man Sarah, for putting on a great cruise again. But I think that's where they were getting it from.
Well, all of Six Man, not just Six Man Sarah.
Well, no, but she has the Facebook group.
Yeah.
So, yes, but thank you to everybody in Six Men. Yes, I see how that came across. But I was just meaning she heads the Facebook group. So.
Yep. No, I bet there were a lot of things there. We don't have the internet package, so how the fuck are we going to find out about this? There's no announcements. Like, you have to rely on hearing other people. Like, we made friends with people who had heard from other people or had the internet themselves and would look it up, and it's like, what the fuck? Like,
right.
It's so annoying.
It was hard. It was hard this year.
It was.
To know what was going on and when things were going on and where things were going on. I felt very disorganized all year.
I did too, and it was very frustrating for me. And
I was constantly on my phone looking at the picture of the schedule that we took to be like, where are we going?
And so like last year, I felt like it was, and be my final thoughts when we get to the end eventually.
Really on day 2.
Last year was really good because the pool deck was the main stage.
Yes.
There was one band playing at the time of the pool deck, and that's it. Once the pool deck's done, there's a little bit of a break. And then all of the other stages are playing at the same time. So you can go to see a band at one of those. You don't know what band it is, but you know where to go. You know something will be played. If it's something you really, really want to see or care about, you would remember what stage.
Where to go,
This year, though, it was all over the place.
Yeah.
It wasn't that consistent sort of like, go here, then any here, then
things
here,
weren't
then any here.
Overlapped as much. But I think we should talk about this at the end, but whatever, we're here. With the not overlapping as much thing, I think was part of the survey last year where people were really upset that it was overlapped so much. So,
but it wasn't. Like all 3 bands or all whatever bands were playing on the stages
had other times
would do the same thing on the other days. So like, all right, one day I see this band. Like it's a festival. You're not going to be able to see everything. So
But this year I felt like there was a lot of time where it's like 45 minutes of nobody playing.
Right.
And that never happened last year.
And it's like, where the fuck?
Except for the main stage. They would give like 30 minutes for the main stage.
Yeah.
But it was very weird where like, and that's when we ended up talking to the Joshes a lot, or like the Joshes or the Denise and Jared we talked to and stuff. And it's like, we just stood and talked for 30 minutes because it's like, well, nothing's going on. So
which was cool. Don't get me wrong. Cool. I love chatting with people.
Yes. Sorry. I didn't want that to come off negative.
Yeah, no, that was super awesome. Like, I loved hanging out and chatting with people so much, but it's also like, afterwards, it's like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do now. Yeah. Like, I want to go see music. That's why I'm here. I'm here to see music, then meet people, or in whatever. There's no order here, right? Yeah. I'm here to have a good time. I had a good time, but I really, really want to see music. I don't know where I'm supposed to go because you changed the schedule earlier this morning, and then you changed it again, and then again, and again, and again. Like, it felt like it just would always change constantly. Yeah. And I get
reimagined, not changed. Reimagined.
Whatever. And
what was that? That wasn't the word either that they used. I don't remember what.
I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about.
The word that they would use.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Oh, okay.
Any case, what the fuck was I saying?
Sorry.
Oh, the weather. Like, I understand it's
the weather was one thing. Yeah.
You can't fucking like. I get it. You have to change things for the weather, and I'm fine with it. I really am. But were none of these people who ran this in the Boy Scouts and they, be prepared bullshit, like, you can't have Dethklok on the main stage unless you leave port, and then boom, it's going to be raining. All right, let's move them into the Stardust Theater. Cool, you're a headliner. You don't get to play the main stage. I'm sorry. You're in the fucking Stardust Theater. That's where you're going to be. Move that band.
Look at Shadows Fall last year. They had a residency there.
Yeah. Take whatever bands that they're playing and move their shit up there, but maybe you can't because your computer is plugged in over to this stage or something. I don't know. It was very frustrating. And again, I get it. I understand, but it was frustrating. Back, though, to the music. We then, after bleeding through, went to go see Chimaira, their second set at the Stardust Theater. Really cool set again.
I thought this was fantastic.
Because you actually got to watch their set. Yes. Because last time we were in sort of the merch line.
We were in the merch line, so we didn't really get to see it. And a lot of times we were talking to people and stuff like that. So we weren't really like seeing it. So it was really, really good.
I like Chimaira a lot. I really wanted to see Down Again. I didn't hear that song. It might have been the third set. We didn't make the third set. And again, Implements of Destruction, the instrumental song. They're not going to fucking play a 15-minute
Yeah, I was going to say, you said it was like really long. So
with like 2 or 3 minutes of just white noise. So I was like, no, they're not going to. That won't get played, unfortunately, but I love that instrument so bad. It's so fucking good. When they closed out for their closing song, instead of that quartet playing, it was My Heart Will Go On by Celine Dion.
Right.
Staying on theme. I love it.
So you said that we missed the third set of Chimaira. If anybody's listening who went to the third set, comment what the closing song or outro song was, because I'm sure it's from Titanic, but I'm really curious what song it was.
I don't know. It'd be fun.
Yeah.
After that, though, we went to see Eyehategod.
Yep.
Their first set, right?
Yes, the first night. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or the second night, but the first set.
We went to get food though before we went there, so by the time we got to the deck, we didn't have like the greatest spot.
No.
Because it was fucking crowded. Everybody there was to see this.
Yeah. Which is awesome. I mean, it's more. I mean, like I wasn't expecting it to be like that at that time, but it's cool to see everybody out there.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know. I want to look at their set list if it's posted. I haven't looked at any of these set lists, see if they're on Setlist FM yet or not. But I want to see if this is the same set they played for Riot
Fest. Yeah.
Because Riot Fest was their first show after Ashes of Leviathan, I believe.
Yes. Yep.
And it seemed very similar setup because Memento Mori was closer to the end.
Yeah.
And then I ended with Redneck, I believe.
Yes. Yep.
Which is their normal sort of closer.
Yeah. Which is so cool because, whatever, cool, weird, whatever. But I remember for so many years, we saw Eyehategod with Memento Mori as the opening.
Yeah.
And I was like, you wouldn't put that at the end of the set. And sure enough, they have it near the end.
It's like one of those interludes where everybody's going to leave the stage for a break and then you come back out and you're just going to have that slower intro coming back in. So, I mean, I can see it fitting there, but I love it at the beginning. I think
it works perfect at the beginning. But
it's to me, it's the greatest sort of opening track to open with.
Yeah.
The other thing I noticed is I think it was Laid to Rest that they played on this first set.
I don't know where you're going.
Well, I thought they played a song from Ashes of the Wake during this set.
I don't remember Laid to Rest the first night.
All right, just looked it up. It wasn't Laid to Rest. It was Now You Have Something to Die For, the second song. And when they started playing that, I was like, are you fucking shitting me? What the fuck? Like, you're going to... I was a little upset at that point.
Why are you upset? Sorry, I don't understand where you're going.
Because before the boat even took off, they said they were going to be playing Ashes of the Wake in full for their second set. So it's like, I get to hear Now You Have Something
so you
to
thought
Die
it was
For
going to be
twice.
like... I see.
Like, you could have nixed that song and played another song that you haven't played. Like, I'm hearing this song... I'm going to hear this twice live, back-to-back days. And that was a little frustrating for me of like, you could have had, and I know all the other bands would play the same songs for their sets as well. And it was one of my complaints last year to some extent is...
Oh, like Shadows Fall was like the same set almost, minus, like they would put like 2 songs in and out.
Yeah, it's like you have 3 unique sets you can play. You have such a wide variety of catalog. Pick something that you haven't played. And this was definitely something that came up during the conversations with both Randy and Mark of like, when you're putting a set together, I think it was one of the fan questions for Mark, where he's like, what songs do you pick? And he's like, what 5 songs we're definitely going to play. Like, we can't not play those, because if we don't play those, somebody in the audience, that's their favorite song. And I think it was also like Mark Morton being like, somebody asked me, what song do I wish I could delete from our catalog? And he gave an example.
No, he didn't say the song.
But he put it on...
He put it online.
But
during the conversation, he didn't say the song.
But he's like, I don't do that anymore, because that is somebody's favorite song, and even though it's not my favorite song, it means something to them.
And he's like, so I won't do that again.
Yeah.
And he didn't even say the song that night.
No, he didn't.
Or that day.
But the same thing is like, when you're putting a set list together, if you don't play Now You Have Something to Die For or Redneck, like know somebody's like, why the fuck didn't you play that song? That's my favorite song.
Yeah, and I really like hearing like 512 live, and we haven't heard that for a couple years.
Yeah.
Well, no, we heard it last year on the boat, I guess. That was the last time.
Year.
Yeah, this year we haven't heard it. I don't know. Like I like Ditch. I like Memento Mori. I like Omens. Obviously Walk With Me in Hell. Redneck's good.
But there's so much.
There's so much.
There's so many tracks you have that like
Ghostwalker would be fun to hear. Did we hear that last year?
I don't think we've ever heard that.
Okay. Yeah, that'd be fun to hear.
I would love to hear that.
I don't know. There's so much that would be really cool to hear.
But exactly, like you're playing Now You Have Something to Die For. You're playing it again tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Because it's part of the fucking album. Take it out. Put something else in. Put 512. Put Ghostwalker. Put something else in. So that was one bit I was a little frustrated with, for sure.
I guess I didn't put 2 and 2 together for that, so it didn't frustrate me at all.
But by that point, I was already frustrated with all the set changes and not knowing what the fuck's going on and no communication.
Yeah.
And then just nitpicking out the set, like, it's whatever. I still had a blast. It was still great. The set was awesome. The crowd was super fucking into it. In
front.
Spots. Yeah.
Not by us.
Where we were, there was a lot of chitter chatter. So we ended up moving and less chitter chatter. But whatever. Good set overall. I did have a lot of fun. That was a really good set. Then Carcass in the Stardust Theater. That was really cool.
It was really fun. Yeah. I feel like it was either Chimaira or Carcass where like a pit started, but there was like signs down on the floor that say like no pitting. But in the theater, it's really hard. I mean, there's only like a little teeny tiny section. Yeah. But it was either during Carcass or Chimaira, but like one of the event safety people came through and like basically was going through like this, like, please, like, it's my job to tell you to stop pitting. Like,
really?
Please don't.
I didn't see that.
Yeah. It's so fun on this boat because like sometimes you go to concerts and like the security are being like security.
Yeah, yeah.
And on the boat, a lot of them are also fans or, into the music or, they're just to be with the passengers on the boat.
Yeah.
So it's cool to kind of see, like you have Sean, he was back again this year and stuff. And last year he was like not in the pit, on the edge of the pit, like pushing people back into the pit though. So to be able to see things like that, like the guy going through being like, you got to stop, but please, please, please stop.
I don't remember that. There a few pits open. I saw a few pits open up there and they don't last very long. They're just sort of people having fun for a few songs and whatnot. But yeah, definitely that. I agree with that. Not a whole lot to say about Carcass. Their set got a little fucked up at the beginning. I think somebody unplugged something.
Oh,
somehow.
right. I forgot about that. Yeah.
And then they come out and whatever it was, technical difficulties and whatnot.
I forgot about that.
But we just saw them like a few weeks before with Josta Hatebreed.
Hatebreed, yeah.
Good set. I like Carcass. I need to listen to more of their shit.
I know we say that all the time. Like, we should put that in our rotation.
Unearth. We went up to Spinnakers, I believe it was, to watch that. That got moved up there into Spinnakers. So they weren't supposed to have a stage there in Spinnakers, and now they do because of all the changes.
Yep.
Standing there watching it, and a guy walks up behind me. He's like, "Oh shit, that's cool. Can I take a photo of your vest or the patch or something?" I'm like, "Yeah, go ahead." And I kind of turned like, "Is that your band?" He's like, "Yeah, it is. I didn't know we had a patch."
Yeah, I think it was the bassist, right? That was saying that?
I think so. He's like, in UnityTX, RTX, and he's like, "I didn't even know we had a patch." Like, "You don't. My mommy made it for me."
You're waiting to say that to somebody.
I was waiting so bad. Like, where the fuck did you get the Unity? And it's like, my mommy. It was awesome. After that, though, we did head down to karaoke.
Yeah.
That was a lot more fun than I thought it would be.
Yeah, yeah. So we got there late after it already started, so we didn't get the best spot, but they kind of like, it's the what is it, Bliss Lounge or whatever?
Yeah.
Like the couches are separated by like kind of chain link things or whatever, but you can kind of see through it.
Yeah,
and you could hear and everything. So that's kind of where we sat. And then we got up and stood in the back for a while. But it was a lot of fun.
A song would come on and people would run up there and do like a little pit thing in the middle. It was a blast. I had a lot of fun at that. A lot more fun than I thought I would have. We didn't sing, but it was cool to get up there. Some of my favorite parts though were somebody did Linkin Park. I can't remember what song it was. But they did it with like death growls as the vocals. Like, holy shit, this is awesome. This is really cool. And then they ended with Poker Face, and everybody sung Poker Face, which was super fucking cool.
Yeah. Everybody was really good singing that night too.
They were very good.
At least that we saw, because like I said, we got there late. But
yeah, karaoke was a fucking blast. So much fun.
Well, that might have been a abrupt cut.
Yeah, so like we said at the beginning, this was going to be a long episode, and sure enough, it was.
Yeah. We recorded for a long time, so the episode would have been like 3.5 or 4 hours.
Computer made a noise. Yeah, it would have been up there somewhere.
Yeah. So we're gonna split this into 2.
Yeah, so I think we're doing like the fly out there day 1, day 2, and then we'll do like 3, 4, and the home shit and the wrap
outro
up and whatnot.
Yeah, or like the end.
In the next
stuff.
episode.
Yeah.
Not sure if we'll have it edited to go up basically the same time as this one, or if it's going to be the following week. But if we get it edited in time, we'll release both at the same time.
Yeah.
If not, we'll do one this week, one next week.
Yeah. So just keep checking to see when it goes up.
Yeah. But in any case, thanks for joining in and listening so far. There's more to come on this, the wrap up of the whole thing and our sort of final thoughts on it. So join us for that episode 2, hopefully. And if not, we'll in any case, whatever it is, we'll catch you at the next show.
Yep. Bye.